Anyway, let me go to the phones. I've been threatening to do this for minutes. Look at this. Dawn, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Hi, welcome to the EIB network. Hello.
Hey, Rush. This is actually Dawn's husband. She had to take another call.
Oh.
I'm calling in for.
That's what happens when you're on hold on this show for quite a while. Do you know what she was going to say, or are you just going to take over?
I do know what she was going to say.
Okay. Have at it.
She wanted to talk about how we've made a decision to move our daughter's surgery that my daughter's having. She was born with a lot of internal birth defects, and at 6 years old, she's already had 7 surgeries.
Oh,
and
geez.
The surgery that she has coming up is one that ideally we would like to postpone because there's still other issues that they're trying to sort out and determine if she needs to have other surgical interventions. And if we were able to postpone it, then we would they would be able to combine the surgeries. But because of all the changes that Obama has made to the way healthcare works, we're having to jump the gun and get that done now because there's a possibility that we might lose insurance at the end of the year through her company and be forced into the exchanges.
You might be canceled, that's right. Or your daughter might not end up being covered, once the Health and Human Services Secretary looks at the case and looks at how much money might be required versus the success possibility. That's what they can do once they get total control of this.
That's exactly right. And, the whole thing about, well, is this medically necessary? And right now we're traveling out of state so she can get better coverage than is available to us locally, and we wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, but it sounds like what you're doing is you're actually taking action now just to make sure you can take action. Sounds like to me like you're worried that you might not be able to actually do the surgery if you wait too much longer.
That's right.
Or afford it, one of the two.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Okay. Now, Dawn's husband, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Now, stop at what we just heard. Stop and think what we just heard. Dawn and her husband might be totally wrong. We don't know. Their fears might be ungrounded, but their reality is that they're scared to death. The reality that they are being forced to live with because of this mess is that the surgery for their daughter would ideally come months from now, but they are afraid to wait because they think it might not be allowed, or they might not have the insurance for it, or they might not be able to afford it. Now, you can sit there and say, well, they're just being paranoid, Mr. Limbaugh. The reality is this is what this is doing to people. Dawn and her husband are real people, and their daughter is a real 6-year-old who has real problems. And the parents are like any other parents. They want the best for their daughter, and they're scared because they don't know. They don't know enough about what the future holds. They don't know if they're going to be able, if they're going to be allowed, permitted, what have you. Now, you can say, come on, Russ, there isn't any way they're going to be denied. That's not the point. They could be dead wrong about this. Their fears could be unfounded. But the fears they're having are real, and they wouldn't be happening. This would not even be a concern had Obama not attempted and the Democrats to take over the healthcare system. This wouldn't even be a concern. It'd be a problem they would have with their insurance company and doctor that they would iron out. As it always used to be. But now, the doctor, the insurance company, and the hospital all have to comply with the Leviathan known as the federal government. So there's a new player in this equation, and it is the Leviathan. And it's the one thing nobody can control, and the one thing nobody can predict, and the one thing they know that really doesn't care about their daughter. Whoever's running Health and Human Services, whoever's running Obamacare, doesn't care about their daughter, not like they do. They care about other things, money, politics, You name it. And this is exactly the kind of thing that's happening all over this country. Dawn and her husband, who you just heard, are human beings. They are Americans. They live in this country. They've got a daughter that needs surgery. At a certain point in time, they're having to take action. They wish they didn't have to take it this time because they're afraid they might not be able to get treatment as she needs it later. And that's only one reason. There's this new player in town, the federal government and Obamacare, and the massive regulations and laws and allowances from the White House. And this is what's wrong with this. It used to be that Dawn and her husband would deal with their insurance company and the doctor, and the daughter would get treated by hook or by crook. It would happen somehow. But the decision's been taken out of Dawn and her husband's hands. Decision may have been taken out of the hands of the insurance company. It may have been taken out of the hands of the doctor because there's this thing called Obamacare. Everybody has to be in compliance with. That's what's wrong with this. And again, it doesn't matter if they're right or wrong about it, because that'll eventually be deduced. It's what this is causing them to go through and how it's causing them to reorient their lives. And who knows what else they're having to try to do in order to get the best for their daughter, because it's not up to them anymore. Got to take a break. Be back after this, folks. Sit tight.